from the likes of the Gates Foundation, ILO, GGN, ITRC, and SSHRC. I'm sure at some point we would project the link to the website where you can have access to all the great things he has done. And it was quite exciting listening, and I know you were also excited to hear him. Hopefully there will be other sessions as the association expands. We are hoping to have seminars, workshops where we would have the likes of him and other scholars have series of lectures for us. Thank you very much, Prof. Mensa. We appreciate it. Okay, so we are going to our next lecture, and when he walked in, I was amazed at his enthusiasm. He was fraternizing with the few that had come in. I was like, wow, this must be a really great personality to reach out to people he just walked in and start fraternizing with. So our second speaker is Mr. Kwame Isia Techi. He's a lawyer of about 3 decades at the bar. He is a seasoned immigration officer of over 25 years experience and currently the Comptroller General of Immigration. Currently the Comptroller General of Immigration. He's a product of the University of Ghana and a proud Vandal. V-mate, yes. And the secretary of the Old Vandals Association for 11 good years. He loves football and a great supporter of Accra Great Olympics. Oli Dade, Oli Bobo, Oli Koso Koso. Oli Rosalinda, yes. Yeah. And I'm excited that I still am able to get a link to the Comptroller General, even though he doesn't know me, I don't know him. So he's a Vandal, and when I was on campus, I was in Volta Hall. So yes, that link is there, yes. Vandals, Commonwealth, and Volta ladies, we were always paired together. So yes, on that note, I am linked to you in a nice way. We would now like to receive our Comptroller General, who is going to speak on the practical and policy implication of advancing development through mobility in Africa. With a round of applause, please, let's welcome him.
Thank you very much. I always tell people wherever I am that I'm not shy to say I'm the product of Commonwealth Hall. I was part of the Chief Vandal's outfit. I was part of the Inspirational Vandal Choir. I was also part of the Vandal Militia. And the National Secretary of the Old Vandals Association for 14 years. It was when I was appointed the Comptroller General I decided to let others come. Earlier I wanted to abdicate. They said, no. I mean, for Abaku's blood, it's in you. She also mentioned Accra Great Olympics. Yes. We are into relegation, Division 1. But because of my love for the club, I did it some years back, and I told them I'll do it again. I brought Olympics from relegation to premiership. We did survive for 7 years, but as you know, Olympics always in fighting, so we've gone back to relegation. Last week, I was appointed by the board of directors, of which I'm also a board member and a shareholder, to be the chairman for a 3-member committee to bring Olympics back. thanked for the invitation, and I was praying that national assignment, national duty will not make it impossible for me to be here. By the grace of God, God heard my prayers. But something nearly happened. We had to be invited to the commissioning of 320 housing units at Tesano, the police college, by His Excellency the President. And when I had the invite 2 days ago, I checked the time, and by the grace of God, it was 10 a.m. I said, right, so I can make myself possible so that I will not disappoint Prof. So my topic, I should have done a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm going to read it. And fortunately, Prof. Mensah and O. Vanda, so the two of us, Vandas in spirit. So when I heard that a Vanda is going to do the presentation, and he himself heard that a Vanda was coming, then you know the Vanda spirit. The spirit of Father Bacchus is present wherever we are. The practical and policy implication of advancing development through mobility in Africa. The president of African Mobility Scholars Association, AMSA, esteemed guests, esteemed Prof, chairperson, members of the African Mobility Scholars Association, AMSA, GIS officers here present, that includes top management members, ladies, gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a great honor to stand before you here today at the launch of an association that signifies hope, opportunity, and the future of Africa. Today, we gather to celebrate and discuss the transformative power of mobility and mobility scholarships and their pivotal role in advancing development through our continent. It might interest you to know that the first normal migration took place in the Bible when Abraham migrated to Canaan from southern Mesopotamia, now Iraq. This is to attest to the fact that even God approves the movement of people. However, since God is a God of order, migration, which He approves, must be embarked upon in an orderly and regular manner. In fact, this is the only way we can benefit meaningfully from migration. Mobility, from my humble opinion, is more than just physical movement of persons. It is the exchange of ideas, cultures, technology, knowledge, expertise, and skills. In our days, we can talk of mobility of professionals in various fields, even from our country, in search of greener pastures. Through mobility, we get exposure to a new world that shapes and refines our level of consciousness and circumstances to other possibilities far beyond our awareness. Higher levels of human consciousness lead to personal growth, change, and innovation at individual level, which yields ripple benefits for families, friends, society, and the nation at large. To this end, mobility also fosters understanding, provides networking avenues, and offers opportunity to access technical assistance for organizations and nations at large. Creating mobility scholarships, therefore, are not merely educational opportunities for scholars and academia. They are vehicles for personal and communal growth, catalysts for the progress and advancement of society, and bridges to a more prosperous and interconnected Africa. Migration on the national agenda. Migration has gained attention globally over the past 2 decades. The importance of migration governance highlighted in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration, both signed by Ghana. The government of Ghana has worked to translate these international commitments into actions at the continental, regional, and national levels to maximize the developmental benefits of migration while minimizing the negative impact and protecting the human rights of migrants.
To make you the host.
In recent years,
That they get a sound from you.
the government has incorporated migration management into the national medium-term development policy framework, that is 2022-2025, and the national security strategy, as well as developing the national migration policy and the national labor migration policy. The Ghana Migration Service, pursuant to its mandate, has been supporting the implementation of these policies whilst contributing to further enhancement of migration governance and national security arrangements. Some of the practical realities of advancing development of our national growth mobility includes but not limited to the following: economic growth and employment, cultural exchange and social cohesion, foreign remittances, transfer of skills and expertise, foreign direct investment, and diplomatic ties. Economic growth and employment. Mobility facilitates the optimal allocation of labor across the continent. Skilled and semi-skilled workers can move to regions where their expertise is in high demand, thereby reducing unemployment and underemployment in both sending and receiving countries. According to the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association, approximately 6,000 nurses have left Ghana to seek better opportunities elsewhere since August 2023. It is important to note, however, that the free movement of labor may have adverse consequences to sending nations when not properly monitored and managed. Cultural exchange and social cohesion. The movement of people promotes cultural exchange, which can lead to greater innovation and creativity. People from different backgrounds, when working together, can produce more innovative solutions to problems. In sub-Saharan Africa, mobility has promoted social integration and cohesion, helping to break down ethnic and cultural barriers and fostering a sense of continental unity. On foreign remittances, according to the Bank of Ghana 2023 annual report, in the year 2023, 11 licensed fintech companies provided inward remittances service to customers. The total value of remittances received in 2023 stood at 57 billion Ghana cedis, compared to 18 billion Ghana cedis in 2022 in terms of remittances by Ghanaians in other parts of the world. On the regional space, in 2023, sub-Saharan Africa saw remittances flow reach $54 billion, with Ghana among the largest beneficiaries, according to the latest World Bank Migration and Development Brief. According to the World Bank latest Migration and Development Brief, released on the 26th of June 2024, officially recorded remittances flows to low and middle income countries moderated in 2023 reached an estimated amount of 656 56 billion. Now, on the issue of transfer of skills and expertise and foreign direct investment. Migration enables the transfer of skills and expertise from highly skilled migrants to the local workforce. This can fill critical skill gaps in various sectors, such as healthcare, engineering, and technology. The GIS in particular is guided by this factor in the issuance of work permits to expatriates. The shortfall over the years, however, has been the absence of reliable data to guide the issuance of work permits in order to maximize the benefits of immigration control. However, the GIS 2023-2029 strategic plan seeks to address this shortfall as it seeks to identify the relevant stakeholders and formalize a relationship through a memorandum of understanding, that is MOU, outlining the areas of cooperation on regulations, processing, issuing, and enforcement of visas and work permits in the country. According to the World Bank, Ghana has seen an influx of professionals in fields such as IT, medicine, and education. For instance, in the healthcare sector, foreign-trained Ghanaian doctors and nurses contribute significantly to improving healthcare delivery in the country. In terms of foreign direct investment, from January to December 2023, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, that is GIPC, recorded foreign direct investment totaling $650 million. $650 million. These investments are anticipated to create 13,523 jobs when operations reach full capacity. The sectors of focus for this investment were manufacturing, services, general trading, export trading, building and construction, agriculture, and liaison. Migration fosters diplomatic ties as countries cooperate on issues such as visa policies, dual citizenship, bilateral arrangements and agreements. Ghana has assented to mutual visa waiver agreements of ordinary and diplomatic passport holders of several nations. And over the years, these agreements and arrangements have gone a very long way to promote diplomatic relations. For instance, Ghana's participation in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and to host the headquarters of this secretariat is boosted by our strong diplomatic relationship with neighboring countries. The service, in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, negotiated visa requirement exemption for ordinary passport holders with the Republic of South Africa, and this took place 1st of November 2023. This has enhanced diplomatic relations between the two countries, as well as enhancing tourism and trade, provide education and healthcare. Now, very critically, the role of the Ghana Immigration Service in mobility management in Ghana and the sub-region. The Ghana Immigration Service plays a critical role in mobility management in Ghana and the sub-region. Pursuant to the mandate given us by the Immigration Act 2000, Act 573, and its accompanying regulations, Immigration Regulations 2001, LI 1691, the service is entrusted with the duty of regulating and monitoring the entry and exit of all travelers in and out of Ghana, as well as the residence and employment of all foreign nationals in the country. This responsibility involves making sure that criminals don't enter the country. And that also includes Ghanaians, because when you get to the airport, you go through like the normal foreigners. The service has, over the period, identified the increasing incidence of irregular migration and the attendant dangers it poses to the socioeconomic well-being of the country. This is based on statistics of return and reintegration of its citizens abroad, recorded at the various points of entry and exit. Consequently, some regions have been identified as vulnerable and endemic to the practice of irregular migration, as the incidence of this negative practice is very high in those regions, and the various measures have been instituted to ensure that the situation is addressed. And in fact, where I come from is part of it. From the Bronx, Ahafo. You know how people like traveling, using the desert and others, so I have to admit. So we're doing our best, especially the Bronx, Ahafo area, to work. And I'll come to that during this lecture. These measures have helped in reducing irregular migration of its citizens and foreigners in the country. The service has the following offices whose activities are directly geared towards ensuring that irregular migration is reduced drastically. The offices are the border management, the counterterrorism unit, permits and visas, intelligence and enforcement departments, document fraud expertise center, that is defect, and other document fraud offices. Migration management department, migration information centers, migration information center for reintegration and for the returnees, and anti-human smuggling and trafficking in persons section. I will touch on some of these offices mentioned for your appreciation of their respective mandates and how they have contributed to managing migration for the benefit of the country. Border management. The GIS manages the numerous entry and exit points of Ghana, including land borders, airports, and seaports. The service is mandated to ensure compliance with embarkation and disembarkation laws and procedures, conduct security checks to ensure persons of criminal records and security threats are identified and prevented from entering the country. The service also presents a welcoming Ghana to investors, tourists, among others, by ensuring that travelers are not only unduly delayed at the various points of entry. Passenger processing. The service successfully maintained the turnaround time of 1 minute 45 seconds from the year 2016 to 2022. However, in 2023, in line with the government's efforts of digitalization agenda, which directed that travelers entering or exiting Ghana will no longer be required to fill out disembarkation and embarkation cards at part of any of our exit and entry points. The turnaround time reduced significantly from 1 minute 45 seconds to averagely 45 seconds per a person. Due to this facilitation of legitimate travelers, 1,147,508 arrivals and 1,228,356 departures were recorded in the year 2023 at our four major entry points, namely Paga, Elubo, Aflao, and KI, that is Kotoka International Airport. And this has contributed in enhancing tourism and also economic development of the country. Moreover, in the year 2023, a total number of 1,178 Ghanaians were refused entry into other countries as compared to a total of 1,962 in 2022, representing a decline of 39.9%. On the other hand, a total of 1,278 nationals from other countries seeking to enter Ghana were refused entry at the major entry points, that is Paga, Aflao, Elubo, and KI. in 2023, compared to a total of 4,222 in the year 2022, presenting a decline of 69.7%. And 40 persons who tried to stow away, and most of the stowaways is at either Takoradi or the Tama Harbour, were intercepted and handed over to the appropriate authorities for further action. Importantly, creation of inland checkpoints have contributed to the border patrol system's ability to seize illegal drugs, apprehend illegal foreign nationals, and screen potential terrorists. Consequently, the service, as part of its efforts to complement internal security due to the high incidence of rebellious activities, and we all know what is happening in the north part of our country. Just last week, there was an attack by jihadis, part of Togo. So we should be aware of all these threats to our country from the northern part of the country and the eastern part. These checkpoints that we have created are 58 in number, advantage places to serve as a second layer to border checks to ensure that no miscreants infiltrate the surrounding communities to cause mayhem, and also due to local instability and violent terrorist activities in the Sahel regions, to counter any entry of extremist group into the country. Migration Management Department. The Migration Management Department, which has several other centers and offices, is aimed at the management of refugee issues, trafficking in persons, human smuggling, and public awareness on the dangers of irregular migration. As part of their mandate to curb the high incidence of irregular migration, they provide relevant information on migration with emphasis on visa requirements and application processes, proper documentations, awareness campaign on the risk of irregular migration, trends in the local labor market, and other best practices for safe legal travel to assist potential migrants make an informed decision on whether or not to travel. Removals of other nationals from Ghana. In the year 2023, the country recorded a total of 1,223 foreign nationals repatriated from Ghana, as compared to a total of 1,326 recorded in 2022, representing a decline of 7.6%. Removal of Ghanaians from other countries. The country saw a total of 40 Ghanaians repatriated from other countries in 2022, and a total of 2,783 Ghanaians deported from other countries in the same year. However, in 2023, the total number of Ghanaians deported from other countries stood at 2,674, representing 3.9% decline in deportation between the years. It's important now for me to look at the formulation and implementation of migration policies, the contribution of GIS, and I'll dovetail into the practical aspect of mobility scholarship. GIS is involved in the formulation and implementation of migration policies, including the National Migration Policy. The Immigration Act of 2000, Act 573, mandates and spells out the role of GIS in mobility management in the country. Among others, the GIS embarks on periodic review of various migration laws and policy documents to maintain their relevance while ensuring they harmonize with the nation's socio-economic development agenda and contribute to actualizing same. GIS plays a significant role in the implementation of the ECOWAS protocols on free movement of persons, animals, and goods within the sub-region. Among these include the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which seeks to eliminate barriers to trade in Africa, significantly boosting intra-African trade, particularly trade in value-added production and trade across all sectors of Africa's economy, and also ECOWAS protocols. The service is working hard in playing its key roles in the implementation of regional protocols, contributing to inter-regional trade and mobility. The service participates in regional training and knowledge-sharing programs to learn and share best practices to improve collaborative efforts with other immigration authorities within the sub-region. Over the years, the service has also welcomed delegation of various study mission programs from countries such as Nigeria, Zambia, Kenya, and Rwanda, openly sharing various best practices with this delegation, which they subsequently adopted and implemented to suit their circumstances. The Ghana Immigration Service has been pivotal in managing migration mobility within Ghana and the West Africa sub-region by ensuring that our borders are secured, facilitating legal travel, combating illegal activities, promoting regional integration. GIS contributes significantly to national security, economic development, and regional cooperation. The efforts of the service in policy implementation and public education further strengthens its role in mobility management, making it a cornerstone institution in Ghana's migration landscape. Policy framework for mobility scholarships. To maximize the impact of mobility scholarships, robust and inclusive policies must be in place. These policies should aim: 1, promoting accessibility and inclusivity. Steps must be taken to ensure scholarships are accessible to students from diverse backgrounds, including those from poor and rural areas. AMSA must prioritize inclusivity to tap into the vast potential that exists in every corner of our continent. But I'll start with Ghana. To ensure that policies are practicable enough, there must be a framework that allows for the smooth transfer of grants and credits while recognizing the qualifications of beneficiaries sourced across borders. This will enable scholars to move freely and confidently, knowing that their hard-earned qualifications are valued and respected. Sustainability. A robust policy must be sustainable. To this, there must be a long-term strategic planning with accompanying action plans broken down into achievable targets to develop long-term funding models that not only cover tuition and living expenses of beneficiaries, but also provide for the holistic needs of scholars, including mental health, support, and career counseling. Strategic plans should be considered long-term public-private partnership and partnership with international donors and research funding organizations. Encourage return and reintegration. AMSA must be actively involved in engaging beneficiaries to encourage their return and reintegration for the benefit of the nation and the continent in knowledge and experience and skills acquired. External exposures open individuals to a more creative, innovative, and forward-thinking, and there must be policies in place tailored to ensure the country of origin and other continent benefit from such rich qualities of beneficiaries as they return to their homeland to contribute to national development. Incentives such as job placement programs, research grants, and professional networks can facilitate this reintegration. Practical aspects of implementing mobility scholarships. The practical aspect of implementing mobility scholarships entails collaboration between institutions. AMSA, universities, and educational institutions must collaborate to create joint programs, exchange opportunities, and research partnership. This will enrich the academic experience and provide scholars with diverse perspectives. Leveraging technology. Deliberate effort must be put in place to leverage technology to facilitate virtual exchanges, online learning, and digital collaboration. This has a force to complement physical mobility and ensure continuous learning even in times of such crises as COVID-19 pandemic. Mentorship programs. To make mobility scholarship more practicable, AMSA must establish mentorship programs that connect scholars, beneficiaries with experienced professionals and alumni. The benefits of mentorship programs cannot be overemphasized, as it provides guidance, support, and valuable insights, which goes a long way in enhancing the overall scholarship experience. Monitoring, evaluation, and learning. Regularly assess the impact of mobility scholarship through rigorous monitoring, evaluation, and learning models. Where necessary, external contractors' expertise may be sought to assess the effectiveness of policies and programs and provide recommendations on periodic basis. Now I come to the role of the African Mobility Scholars Association, AMSA. In bringing my speech to a close, I want to highlight on some of the roles I believe AMSA has to play in the mobility of scholars in Africa. Advocate for policy change. I encourage your leaders and members to be a voice of change wherever you find yourselves. As a young association, and I'm told it's barely a year old, I entreat the leaders to adopt active engagement with stakeholders such as educational institutions, international bodies, to advocate for policies that support mobility scholarships and educational exchange. Building a strong network, and that is what overlanders are noted for. We have a very strong network. Leaders and members must focus and invest in building vibrant network of scholars, alumni, and donor partners who can share resources, opportunities, and provide financial support. Promote best practices. Share best practices, success story, and lessons learned to inspire and guide future initiatives. Foster community engagement. Encourage members to engage with their communities and contribute to local development projects. Community engagement may be in the form of TV, radio interviews, newspaper publications, contributing to current issues and promoting ideas for innovation, growth, and change through various media houses. This will contribute in making AMSA more visible to garner the needed recognition and assistance for future prospects and endeavors. Conclusion. As we launch the African Mobility Scholars Association, AMSA, let us remember that our goal is not just to move individuals, but to move entire communities, nations, and our continent forward in a meaningful direction which will positively impact our nation's development. Mobility scholarships are more powerful tools for development, and with the right policies, practical measures in place, the association can harness their full and indeed potential, advancing development through migration management in Africa, and having rich implications for areas such as education, trade, transportation, housing, and standard of living, among others. In Ghana, government is aware of numerous opportunities for jobs, skills transfer, revenue, the labor migration can generate for the country if it is adequately mainstreamed into the national developmental agenda. This avenue of enormous opportunities is well captured by the National Policy Employment Agenda. The National Migration Policy of 2016 also recognizes labor migration as an important means of harnessing the potentials of skilled and semi-skilled labor for national development. The 2023-2029 strategic plan of the GIS also acknowledges that a fair balance of free movement of persons, goods, and services on the heels of national development within the framework of national security is prudent for the well-being of countries. Let us therefore together advance development through safe, orderly, humane, regular migration, create opportunities for our youth, and build a brighter and more connected future for Africa and the world as a whole through the adoption and implementation of the right policies. Let us together help the nation to grow meaningfully by creating the enabling environment for this growth. And I thank you for the opportunity that has been given to me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comptroller General, Ghana Immigration Service, for yet another thought-provoking lecture from you and letting us know all the good works that have been done and that can be done to promote development through mobility. Because we are running behind time, I will not skip Q&A, it's very important, but I would give opportunity to at least 2 questions. And so if you're here and you would have a question for any of our presenters, please. Please show by hand and, okay. Please your name and then.
Thank you very much. My name is Charles Queenin, PhD candidate of CMS. Firstly, I would like to really congratulate the organizers. This is really very timely. I have 2 questions. One, to Professor Mensah. Now, I really like the way you contextualize, the various theories and also development as a process. But I would like to know, mindful that sometimes what is politically desirable may not be technically feasible. And what may be technically feasible may not be politically desirable. So looking at the various theories and the process of development, what do you think, in your take, makes development so difficult in Ghana and other African countries? My second question goes to the Comptroller General. Thank you so much. You touched on a lot of issues, and I looked at the AMSA formation, and I hope that the Ghana Immigration Service is part of it, not just coming to give a lecture and go. Because, you get very objective and realistic policies when it's based on, actions, like the way the Comptroller General really, articulated it. So really a very commendable, job and for presentation. But mindful that you touched on so many things, and the border management, on remittances, on the ASCFTA, I just want to know how, in your view, do you think African borders can be used as point of convergence and trade and free movement to facilitate the implementation of the ACFTA? Because Africa has over 85,000 kilometers of borders with over 165 border posts across the continent. And yet some of the regions use migration, they securitize migration. When you look at Europe, the intra-European trade among the Schengen countries is almost 65 to 70%. You look at Asia, Latin America, over 40%. Africa is just about 16%. Why? Simply because we've locked our borders. We know that goods and services are moved by people. And yet, our heads of state have adopted the CFTA, but not the protocol of free movement of persons. So how do we expect the goods and services to move? And yet, we expect the ACFTA to function. So I just want to know from your take and the excellent work you've been doing, what do you think could really help us in this regard? Thank you.
You want me to go? Okay, thank you. I'll make it quick because time is of the essence here. Basically, the question is, what do I think, how come Africa is a bit behind? It's difficult to give a very single answer to something like that, but from my long study in development, I think there are two things. First, there is what we call elite capture. That's the fact that the elite of the African society have captured the societies for their benefit. The second will be a situation, and this is tied. I will use concepts like in dialectics, we have what you call creation, destruction. Every development entails some destruction and creation. You know that you don't have to import rice, so you stop that. To stop that, the elite is the one involved. So they won't allow you to destroy that mechanism for you to create a new one that works. Does it make sense? So there is elite capture, and so that the creation and destruction that is involved in development is not being allowed to do. So the point is, we have all the answers, okay, but the elite have captured the society for their benefit, okay? So if we do this, and you can add it to Galamsey, of course, there's elite capture there. That is why they capture it for their benefit. So they are the one for us to destroy that Galamsey, but they are the one benefiting from it. So it is in their interest that the destruction doesn't take place for the creation to take place. Okay, Schumpeter called it the creative destruction in dialectics, but I'll leave it as such.
If I had the opportunity to speak in what I would say a chamber, I'll be able to say a lot of things. Because I have one of my colleagues that we work together at the highest authority of national security, that is the Over, Dr. Brigadier Good. There are a lot of challenges, and I heard you commenting on trying to put security as an excuse in the implementation of free movement of goods and persons. Honestly, with the Anglophone countries, it's very smooth and easy compared to the Francophone countries for various reasons that we all know. As we speak, about 3 of the countries, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, they are out of the ECOWAS for reasons that we all know. There have been coups at that place. But it's important to know that as an African continent, you look at our background, the history, the culture, the language, they are all barriers. And there should be the political will. Ghana is a beacon of light in Africa set by our first president, so they look up to us. We are always ready, available to offer the advice, open the borders, but at a particular time. So yes, there should be free movement of persons, trade, but I can tell you in honesty, we have to open our eyes. So there's free movement, but with difficulties. Unlike, and I'm being blunt and practical for where I sit, where Doc sits. The ability even to scan some of the vehicles. It's a challenge, even though we've done our best. You'll be surprised to hear that Mali, Niger, Burkina, they are landlocked countries. So most of their goods come from Taman Harbor. And they have to be sent. So because national security customs are wide awake, there are even diversion of goods. And some of the items have to be scanned. And when they scan these items, you find goods that you don't expect to be there. It's a difficult job. And as you know, our borders are very, very porous. The government has done well to retool the security agencies, especially the Ghana Immigration Service. There are challenges. So the issue of ECOWAS protocol that we are implementing. For instance, there is the right of residence, right of abode. That, sorry to say, some of our brothers and sisters will have the right to come and stay here and work without residence and work permit. You need to check their security background. You don't allow anybody to come into the country because there are protocols. And even the protocol allows the use of passports and documents to travel. So when you are crossing, you don't have a passport. In the Francophone, they use what we call a card identity. They are all travel documents, but not enough. So there are a lot of challenges when you sit back. So we have to implement even within the East Africa Economic Community. We had opportunity of traveling to Kenya, myself and other security couples, to observe their way of managing their borders, one shop, so that you have the borders being implemented that you want to do at Akanu border post. Akanu is part of our legitimate borders in the Volta region, where the idea is that goods, not persons, will be passing the heavy goods, will use that so that Aflao will be a little free. So we went to Kenya and it's called Namandi, I think, port. And we observed so many things as a steady tour. Even there, they have challenges. So there are a lot of challenges, and I believe we need to do our best to overcome these challenges. So from where I sit and where Brigadier sit, yes, free movement will bring prosperity, yes. But with that, you have to open your eyes. Because you allow people to come in and out. Let's say, for example, we are coming to have elections in December. That's where we have to be awakened. You cannot not allow anybody to come in and out. And I believe, should there be any problem, all Ghanaians, including some of you sitting here, will cut my head off, will cut Brigadier Generals off, will cut counterparts off, head off, and even the president who is exiting from office. So there are challenges, but we're doing our best. For instance, I don't know who has visited Aflao, who has gone through Aflao border post, Aflao, recently, or even passed through Aflao. I don't want immigration officers. I want an outsider. You've gone through Aflao. You observe that, in fact, Aflao border post, I think it's one and only border post where you have two countries closer by each other. You move from Lome, you come to Aflao. There should be a distance. There should be a distance. So when you do observe that, when you had exited or whatever you were going, you see the avalanche, the swarm of human beings like bees going and coming. So you find the Togolese and the Ghanaians, that is the immigration, doing well, what? To manage their entry and their exit. I hear sometimes one or two things happen. Our officers and their Togolese counterparts, as if they say money change, and I've not caught anybody, because when you are caught, you know what will happen. And a lot of challenges, like you have said. So, in answering the question, we are doing our best to implement the ECOWAS protocols of free movement and the continental African trade. But underlining their issues. So I hope I've answered your question very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay. I'll just take a moment to acknowledge a few organizations that supported us today. Globetrotters Legal, if a rep is here, just give us a wave quickly. Thank you very much. Migration Advocacy Center, Travel Tavern, we really appreciate the support from you. And we are also receiving support from GIZ, working on behalf of the German government. Please, let's acknowledge the support from them. We are also excited to have Dr. Gaba, who is with Western Cape University, South Africa, join us as well. Thank you so much for being here. And we would move to the next item in our program. We would like to officially launch the AMSA Association and also our website. So we'll hand over to our chairperson to assist us with the process.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we come to the very, very important part of the whole program to officially launch the association. And before I do this, I think I want to call the executive of the association forward, the president, the secretary, or are you organizing secretary? Vice President, okay. They're all the executive, yes, if you come forward. Forward. Let me stand up so that it's, yeah. Is that all that, are you part of? So these are your executive. Please, who is the Dr. Alote, I know, is the president. Who is the vice president? Dr. Isi is the vice president. Secretary, is it Sonia? Okay, Sonia. I feel like I'm really a grandmother here. They are all, they are all of them. Sonia is the secretary, and then which one? Organizing secretary? Financial secretary. Okay, like the one who handles the finance. Theophilus, Dr. Butsima is the financial secretary, and then you are. Oh, good. Okay. So you have a media and diaspora engagement officer, and lastly, I think so. That's very good. And lastly, okay, and that's excellent. And then a research officer for the association. To these are, and then of course, Prof. Kandilige, are you patron? Oh, the director of the whole association. So this is the whole group here. I'm very, very pleased to introduce them all to you, and they will be handling the affairs directly in the front, although we will all be at the back supporting. So they have key objectives. I think Dr. Alote took us through at the beginning through the objectives, and so we are looking forward to them continuing with their work and building up this very important initiative. So with this, I want to declare the Africa Mobility Scholars Association formally launched. May God be with them and us all, and may God help us grow this association to even greater heights. Thank you. And you can see it's very much gender diversified, you know, both males and females, which is very good. I'm always looking out for gender.
Thank you, Prof. Awimbila. We would move straight to the launch of our website. Dr. Frank AEC would take us through.
Thank you very much. My job is simple. I just want to inform you that as an association, we have social media platforms. We have our Momo number. We have we have our Momo number, and then we have an email, a YouTube. We are yet to be on Facebook and LinkedIn, but we are on X. But all of this is condensed on our website. And I will call on the developer, Senenu, to take us through our website. And if we finish, then our website is also officially launched. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. EC. All right, so this is our website. Our work is simple. So the URL or the address to the website is africanmobilityscholars.org. So .org. So when you open your browser, Google Chrome, Safari, any browser, or even in Google, just type African Mobility Scholars, and it should take you straight to our website. So as you can see, this is our website, and you will find every activity about our association over there. So as Dr. Isi said, everything you need to know, right from social media to all our activities, will be on the website. So even with the live stream we have, everything is right here. We're hoping to expand, so we encourage and urge you to visit the website and then make all your membership, so you can register on the website, you can make payments on the website, you can also contribute in any way. So just a quick one, you can also buy merchandise. So all our paraphernalia, you can find it and purchase it. And the payment is seamless, highly secured, and safe. So you get your receipts when you pay, you get alert. So you are assured of a safe place to be. So that's just about it for our homepage. So you find information concerning our members, and then what we do, our services. And then if you want to give to support our cause, you go there and you find every other thing that you need. So on that note, I just want to say a big thank you to the executive team for this idea and for giving me the opportunity to develop it. So if you want any web project, just contact me on the sidelines. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Senanu. Free marketing. So please contact him for all your IT development stuff. Okay, we have some few presentations to do, and then we'll be wrapping up our program shortly. We'd like to invite Brigadier General Timothy Bata Bana, Dr. Timothy Bata Bana, to help us with some presentations we have to our honorary members. Given that they responded to our call and are here to support us and have promised to continue doing so, we are highly elated to have Professor Joseph Mensah, Professor Mariama Awumbila, and to Lawyer Combs General. Apologies, the name is not coming. Okay. So please, if you could please step forward for us, we would like to present to you AMSA souvenirs and special plaques for you to serve as honorary members of AMSA. We truly, truly are grateful you honored our invitation. Maybe you can.
So from the association, just freshly launched, it will be an honor to be the first recipients of a present from them. And this goes to Professor Joseph Mensah. We're happy you joined us, and we are very inspired by your speech. Thank you very much. And to the chairperson, she was talking about gender just a while ago. So if we give it to a male, then it's just proper for us to give it to the other gender. We're grateful to you for accepting to chair this function. It's a memorable one. It goes down in history that when we launched this association, you had the humility to chair it ably for us. We're grateful. Thank you. You know, the best will always go to the vandals. Not just because they are vandals, but it's because they are the best. So our association, the African Mobility Scholars Association, would like to honor one of the outstanding vandals, maybe of all times, with this present today. So we are most grateful that you joined us, and we are inspired by your speech. Thank you very much. We hope that whenever we ask you to come around again, you come. Thanks. And to the rest of us, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you for your time and your efforts, and we know you are not going to leave us. You are going to continue to support AMSA in all of our endeavors. Prof, don't be in a hurry to say, Prof. Awumbila, thank you so much. We would like to take the closing remarks from you. Please let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Sonia. I think my new nickname here is what, Grandma or what? Don't worry, I'm used to that name, so. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I think we've had a very interesting afternoon. I think I want to thank our two keynote speakers very much for those thought-provoking, interesting presentations that they made. I don't know the organizers, whether you looked at which halls they used to be in the university to choose them. But somehow it looks like you've only chosen people from Commonwealth Hall. I've always had a very high regard of both of them. Today, the things I'm hearing, my regard goes even higher. You thought I was going to... It goes even higher. I'm actually told Commonwealth Hall, sometimes despite the little negatives we hear, they actually have a lot of positives, and we can see it today. There's some of the qualities, networking, support for each other, outspokenness, they also have a lot of positive strengths. So my estimation has gone even higher. I think Prof. Mensah laid the foundation, took us through this broad overview, and especially for us to all develop critical development theory, perspectives when we are looking at migration, including even at our places of work. I think that was really very key, and I think it couldn't have come at a better time now that we are forming the association, as we develop some of the programs that we'll be looking at, some of the networks that we'll be looking at, if we have that perspectives at the back of our minds. And I think our controller also took us through all the practical issues. I remember he made a comment that they were also sort of involved or supported policy making, particularly the national migration policy. And I just wanted to support him. That is true. Being involved in national migration policy, a huge chunk of our funding actually came from Ghana Immigration Service. I think there was a project from EU, so I just wanted to support that. Actually, that was very true. A lot of the funding came from there. I think there was a project, and under it, they were quite happy to release it to the. And that's how come we were able, from a very small concept of doing a small migration policy focusing on international migration only, particularly south-north migration, it broadened to the more holistic policy that we see. So thank you very much, Ghana Immigration Service, for that. So I think as migration, we know that African mobility is changing. We have the usual problems, the usual brain drain, rural urban migration and all its issues. But I think the issues that are also coming up show that we are beginning to have the same problems like the developed world is having to do with migration. We are beginning to have the issues around integration of migrants. As mobility is increasing on the continent, some of us countries who are migrant receiving countries, we are beginning to have those same problems. Controller took us through some of the issues that GIS is having to handle. A lot of the developed world are going through all those issues. We are beginning to have issues around climate, mobility, and all the rest. So it's very opportune that this association is coming on at this time, particularly when we are trying to develop initiatives that will try and ensure that migration is beneficial for everybody, both the migrants, the sending countries, and the countries of origin. I would just like to draw on a few. I thought maybe just two, time is far gone, so just some 2-3 points that I thought as an association we should look at to ensure that we can enhance the positives of migration and, of course, try to address some of the issues to do with migration. I thought, number one, how do we leverage and enhance opportunities offered by a large flow of intra-regional labor migrants for Africa's development? We have a large pool circulating within Africa. CMS students, you all know that that is a dominant migration flow now. How do we leverage this and enhance this? How do we also promote migrants as resources? So migrants are resources, whether in the country of destination or where they came from. Migrants as resources beneficial to themselves and to the country of origin and destination. And thirdly, how do we collaborate? Okay, we form an association, but how do we collaborate with some already existing networks? So I think there are some already existing networks. I think association, we need to look at this. How do we collaborate with them, enhance? Maybe sometimes we may need to come together. And so I know of, I don't know whether it's still working very well, NOMRA, the network of migration researchers in Africa, has been there for some time. Maybe this is a time to get in touch with Adepoju and his group. There's another one on, I think, data network. So how do we collaborate with them? But I just want to conclude by saying that I think the issue now is not whether people will continue to migrate, but what will be the benefits and the issues coming out of people moving. I think whether people will migrate, I think that is a given thing. People will always, given what is happening, especially Africa, because we are such a youthful population. He said that our median age is 19. This morning with my students who were just going through Japan, their median age is 48. 48 years. That means half the population is more than 48, half is less than 48. Ghana is 19, half is less than 19, half is less. So you can see we have a very youthful population moving into that productive age group, and they are the ones who are going to do the movement. So the question is not whether people will continue to move. I think we should take it as given that people will move. How do we manage that? That's where GIS comes in, all the other institutions, Ministry of Employment and Labor and all the rest. And how do we manage the benefits as well as the issues that will come out of it? So on this note, I want to thank everybody again for coming. I want to congratulate the association. I'm sure it must have been hard work putting all this together, but I think you have done it. Once we have launched the association, you now don't have an option. You have to push it forward. I want to assure you that the current director for CMS, Professor Terina, said CMS is always available to support. I also want to add that those of us who initiated the whole migration, putting everything together, we are also behind, and we will also provide whatever support, whatever advice. If you call on us, we are always happy to provide the grandmotherly rule to this to the association. So thank you very much also for inviting me to chair this very, very important initiative. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Awumbila. We are grateful for your time, and we are grateful for chairing our program. We would like to invite Mrs. Ashamano to give us the vote of thanks. We are wrapping up our program shortly, so. Please let's welcome her with a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, professors, colleagues, and friends. So on behalf of the newly formed association, that is the African Mobility Scholars Association, AMSA, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us today on this momentous occasion, the launch of AMSA. Our gratitude goes to our chair, Professor Awumbila, for accepting to chair this occasion for us. And then we'd also want to thank the Comptroller General of Immigration, Lawyer Echiatechi, for your time, your presence, and then the insightful speech you gave. To our own Professor Mensah, we thank you so much for the insightful presentation that you made. And this presentation actually sets the tone for launching our association. I would also like to thank our director, Professor Kandilige, for his efforts, his time, his advice, and everything for us to see this day come true. And then to our partners, we have Migration Advocacy Center, Globetrotters Legal, and then GIZ. We thank you so much for your financial support. Our dear members, we thank you also for making time to join us. Then the team, all the interim executive, we thank you so much for the sleepless nights that you spent in making sure that this association is duly launched. Thank you once again. We are confident that this association will serve as a vibrant hub for researchers, policymakers, and practitioners working on African mobility issues. Thanks once again for your presence. And then we look forward to collaborating with all of you as we embark on this exciting journey.
Thank you very much, Asha. Well said. I was looking forward to hear thank you in other languages. Okay. So to the few that I can remember, Akpekaka Wandanyashi Yadamwase. Danke, or if I'm getting it right, all of it, thank you so much. We'd also like to acknowledge the presence of a rep from ICMPD. Please give us a wave if you are here. Thank you for coming. We truly appreciate. And we look forward to working with you. We would like to take our closing prayer, but we want to encourage us all to please, after the closing prayer, head out right from this auditorium. We would like to take a group picture. We cannot do so here given our numbers, so please, on the lawn outside, please let's head there, and then we will take a group photo. Photos are for memories, so we would all remember this day. We would like to invite Dr. Adina Adi to give us the closing prayer. Please, let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we say you are gracious because that's what you've been to us. We thank you for the beautiful beginning of AMSA. We are so delighted on what you have done this afternoon. We thank you that all wisdom and knowledge belongs to us, and you have endowed our president and the executive with this knowledge to bring us thus far. Thank you for what you have done this day, and I know that you are continue to take us forward, and that at the end of the day, all glory, all honor belongs to you. We give you the praise in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you. Please let's remain seated. We would have our high table guests please step out first, and then we can join. Please let's accord them that respect, and we would all join them on the lawn to take a group photo. Whilst they step out, kindly, if you are seated here